our technical stuff. Okay, great. So already guys, so welcome to the third anniversary of the Filipino Heritage Month. And let me stop this first. And to begin with, we are going to start right now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat, mga kaibigan. Welcome to our third annual June Heritage Month here in Montreal. I remember the first one we had in 2018. We were all excited to launch this big event. And now we come back the third year with so much pride to celebrate once again our beautiful culture and heritage. Tonight, we will be joined by many community leaders.
Nawawala. Nakayaan yun.
Sorry, Tito Al, your music is not on the screen.
Walang sound.
Sorry, guys, it won't be long.
watawat. Ako ay Pilipino, buong katapatang nanunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas at sa bansang kanyang sinasagisag na madangal, katarungan at kalayaan na pinakikilos ng sambayanan, makadiyos, makakalikasan, makatao at makabansa.
We will now hear a Philippine art song called The Kundiman, and this one is titled Bayan Ko or My Country, sung by soprano soloist Carmina Franco. Here she's singing Bayan Ko in Tagalog.
Ang bayan kong Pilipinas, lupain ng gito't bulaklak, pag-ibig ang sa kanyang palad, ng alay ng ganda't tinak, at sa kanyang yumi at ganda, dayuhan ang naharina. Bayan ko, binihag ka na sadlak sa dusa. Ang bayan kong Pilipinas, lupain ng gito't bulaklak, pag-ibig ang sa kanyang palad, ng alay ng ganda't tinak, at sa kanyang yumi at ganda, dayuhan ang nahalina. Bayan ko, binihag ka na sadlak sa dusa. Ibang may layong lumipad, kulungin mo at umiiyak. Bayan ba kayang saktal dilag, ang dimag na sang mag-aalpas? Pilipinas kong minumutya, pugad ng luha ko't dalita. Aking ati ka, makita kag sagdaraya. Ibang may layong lumipad, kulungin mo at umiiyak. Bayan ba kayang saktal dilag, ang dimag na sang mag-aalpas? Pilipinas kong minumutya, pugad ng luha ko't dalita. Aking ati ka, makita kag sagdaraya.
We will now hear a few words of welcome from our very own chairman, Mr. Alabdon of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal. And this will be followed by words of welcome from our beloved Councilor Marvin Rotrand.
Sorry, everyone, it won't be long. Tito Al is just having technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Okay, shall we do it? Take one. All right. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Tito. We just don't see you.
Oh, okay. There you go. I'm sorry. Wow, yeah. Okay. Shall we start? Ambassador Rodolfo Robles, dignitaries from federal, provincial, and municipal levels of government, leaders from our neighboring ethnic communities, Filipino community leaders, ladies and gentlemen. We're here tonight to celebrate the third anniversary of the Filipino Heritage Month of June. We celebrate to remind us Filipinos that we have a rich culture and traditions that was left behind to us by our forefathers. We are also reminded that Filipinos played an important special role in the Canadian society to be a good and better citizens of this country. Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal is committed to promote Filipino heritage in Canada. But before I proceed to share on the next message, I would like to give credit to the people behind the Heritage Society, those who really work hard to make this event come true. The first people I'm going to call is Berta Vieira, the Vice President, Janet Perignon, Secretary, Linda Masoni is the Treasurer, Ricardo Ribaya is the Assistant Treasurer, Paul Imperial is the Auditor, and then now we go to the frontline workers. What we call the frontline workers are the event coordinator, which is Edita Fedelizo, and also our educational chairman is Dali Belandres. We have Ami Manoog as a member director. We have Kim Gulcia, who is our outreach program director. We have Stephanie Valenzuela, who is our communication director. And members of the membership committee are Rebecca Aguilar, Elma Bulatao, Ninita Liclayo, Nancy Carides, Feli Bizares, Feli Cariño Rosales, Epi Jevero, Shioni Nueva, and Valen Lloyd Hughes. I hope I didn't forget anyone, or else I'm going to be in trouble. Now I'd like to transfer the floor to our good friend and our advisor of the Filipino Heritage Montreal. And he has been a staunch supporter of the Filipinos in Quebec. Filipinos love him. So he's no other than Councilor Marvin Rotran of Snowdon District. Marvin?
Bonsoir, good evening, pagbati po. Thank you, Mr. Abdon, for the very, very kind words. Allow me to digress before I actually begin my speech. I want to say COVID has made it difficult for all of us. And one of the things I miss seeing Panday Teneg. I love that ensemble. They're wonderful. And to hear them tonight sing the national anthems is very heartwarming. For those who don't know, musical director Paul Imperial is my neighbor. He lives 3 houses from me. And I was moved to hear Carmina Franco. She has an absolutely wonderful voice. Allow me to recognize a few of the people who are here with us in this very prestigious audience tonight. Mr. Samir Zuberi, Member of Parliament from Dollard Pierrefonds. Mr. Sonny Moroz, representing Member of Parliament Anthony Housefather. My colleagues, Lionel Perez, Councillor for Darlington. Magda Popiano, Councillor for Cote-de-Neige. Christian Arsenault, Councillor for Loyola. I don't see on the list any of the other councillors, but I want to note my colleagues who are here this evening. And I want to thank the members of the Filipino Heritage Month Committee for the hard work that you've done. Clearly, our hopes were somewhat dashed. We hoped that by June 2021, there would be more than just a little light at the end of the tunnel. There would have been the ability to get together in person, but that is not the case. And we will celebrate what is the 4th Heritage Month in the borough of Côte-Neige, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, while it's the 3rd Heritage Month across Canada, by Zoom tonight, launching a series of events that many organizations of Filipino community in Côte-Neige, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, and across the greater Montreal area will take part in, and which will bring in very, very large attendance over the course of the month. It will touch hundreds, if not thousands of people. It will show Filipino pride, and it will show the joy Filipinos have of being not only Filipinos, but Canadians as well. And that was remarked right at the beginning of this opening ceremony when several of the people who who began this ceremony indicated how proud they are to be Canadians. Mr. Abdon talked about the role Filipinos have in making this a better country. Now, this will be an exceptionally important year. First of all, it's the 160th birth anniversary of Dr. Jose Rizal on June 19th. He's the national hero of the Philippines. And the Knights of Rizal, we're really looking forward to a major event at Mackenzie King Park at the monument, as they do every single year. But they have told me, unfortunately, it won't happen. It'll be online like this evening will be. And June 12th, the Council of Canadian Filipino Associations in Quebec usually hosts a parade and a gathering also in Mackenzie King Park that usually draws several thousand people. But this year they've told me they pushed it back till July the 25th in the hope that they can do something in person. But they have a plan B. If it doesn't work, they will also celebrate online. Let us hope that next year, 2022, will be back to normal and we can do what was so special in the first couple of Heritage Months, actually getting together for events where people could share their joy in person. I want to say that for our Borough Council, supporting the Filipino community is one of the important things that we do. We will, on Monday, June the 7th, vote our annual grants for Pista Sanayan, which will be hosted by FAMAS in July, and for Independence Day, hosted by the Council of Canadian Filipino Associations. Depending on what the health authorities tell us is possible, there'll either be permits for gatherings in July or there won't. But there will be grants given to the organizations with different conditions applying if it's in person or if it's going to be online. And the members of the council are here tonight, and they'll be here at other events hosted by other organizations within the context of the Heritage Month. I'm honored to be the councillor that moved the original motion, seconded by my colleague Lionel Perez, to create a Heritage Month in Côte-Neige, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce. We thought it was important because this borough is the epicenter of the Filipino community in Quebec. There are over 15,000 Filipinos living in Côte-Neige, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, but moreover, all the major institutions and many of the businesses and many of the best restaurants serving the community are located in Côte-Neige, Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, particularly in Darlington District and quite a few in Snowden, but elsewhere in the borough as well. And I know among the participants tonight on this call, there are many who live in the Notre-Dame-de-Grâce portion of the borough. So we thought it would be natural to create the Heritage Month. We had heard that Councillor Cole, Josh Cole, was going to do the same thing in Toronto, and we wanted to get ahead of the curve, and we moved this motion at our Borough Council. We were thrilled when that very cold night in February 2018 attracted well over 200 persons from the Filipino community who came to support the motion. Councillors were honored to adopt the resolution, and the rest is history. We've had a Heritage Month ever since. The one in 2019 was particularly poignant because the Borough Council also worked with the community to advance a motion that was adopted by the City Council to create the place name Place Jose Rizal in the area around the monument, and the Borough Council funded as well re-landscaping and putting an electric supply so that events could happen at night around the monument. That monument is really meaningful to all the Filipino community groups. It's a place of quiet repose when there isn't an event there, but often when there's an event, it's special. When we gave the official place name in 2019, 600 people showed up to honor Dr. Rizal. And for that particular event, which was held within the context of the Heritage Month and which was under the auspices of the Filipino Heritage Month Committee with an alliance with the Knights of Rizal. It was something I don't think I'm going to forget, and I don't think anyone who was there that particular day will forget it either. So the Heritage Month has had a great deal of local resonance, but as everyone is saying, it's the third Heritage Month in Canada, and I think we need to recognize the role of our local member of parliament, Anthony Housefather, in getting that done. He worked very closely with Salma Zahid, the member of parliament for Scarborough Centre, who was the mover of motion M155, which was adopted unanimously by the House of Commons in October 2018, creating the Filipino Heritage Month in Canada. I know it was a special event because I was there. And so was Al Abdon, and so were several others who were on this call this evening. We were there to be part of the Montreal delegation as part of a larger delegation that met with Prime Minister Trudeau. He took time out from his very busy schedule to meet with us to assure us this motion would be adopted, and it was adopted. Ever since, the Philippine Heritage Month Committee, which has transformed into society, has taken the torch and provided leadership. And though the Filipino community in Montreal is not nearly as large as it is in many other Canadian cities like Toronto or Winnipeg or Vancouver, even Edmonton, it is as enthusiastic, if not more so, than the others in celebrating the Heritage Month. And I want to note the good work that has been done by the Heritage Society to make sure every time there's a Heritage Month, it's special. Now, we recognize the constraints of COVID, and we recognize the really good work that's been done to assure that tonight we can kick off the Heritage Month. Before I close, I want to talk about a special motion that be on the agenda on June 7th of the Borough Council. I note that Ambassador Rodolfo Robles, the new ambassador of the Republic of Philippines to Canada, is on the call with us tonight. I thank him for his wise guidance. Councillor Perez and I met with Ambassador Robles and First Consul Francisco Fernandez recently to discuss the friendship between Montreal and Manila. This dates to the year 2004, when Manila adopted a motion of friendship for Montreal. We reciprocated in 2005, and then Mayor Gerald Tremblay hosted the embassy staff and over 200 leaders from Filipino community here in Montreal to launch this friendship. And there's been, over the years, various gestures posed within those friendship motions that were adopted. The ambassador suggested there's interest in Manila to reinvigorating and renewing this friendship. And on our end, Councillor Perez and I have submitted a motion to the Borough Council for June the 7th to urge the ball to get rolling on our end, to urge the executive committee to act and to formalize the renewal of the friendship with a view ultimately of adopting sectorial agreements where the cities could help each other. I know that Mayor Isko Moreno is interested. I met Mayor Moreno when I visited Manila a few years ago. He wasn't the mayor at the time, he was a vice mayor, but he told me if we ever get beyond friendship, he had a package of ideas that he thought would be useful to the Philippines. He'd hope Montreal could help. And he was always willing to come with a delegation from Manila here to Montreal to talk about economic opportunity and friendships between people. So I invite all those on the call this evening to watch the Borough Council and to encourage the councillors to adopt the motion so that we can move on to the next stage. And again, I thank the embassy particularly the ambassador and the first consul for having been available to advise Mr. Perez and myself. Mr. Abdon, I give the mic back to you. I thank you for the time that you have accorded me, and I wish everyone mabuhay, long life to Filipino Heritage Month in Cotonou, Notre Dame de Grace. Mabuhay, long life to Filipino Heritage Month in Canada. Thank you, everybody.
Editor? Edit.
Yes, I'm here. And we now call on our very efficient and hardworking secretary, Madame Jeanette Pirignon. She will be introducing our keynote speaker for this evening. Jeanette?
Thank you very much, Edith, for your warm welcome. Now I'm going to introduce to you, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce to you all our guest speaker tonight. He is from Chaong, Quezon, Philippines, southeast of Metro Manila, an honors graduate of San Beda College, topping the bar exam in 1967, and took his Master's of Law at Harvard University. He is a founder and senior partner of Robles Brillantes Ricafrente Natura and Aguirre Law Firm. Also, he is one of the founders of Arellano University School of Law, currently one of the largest law schools in the Philippines. He has also served as professor of law at San Beda College and dean of Arellano Law School from 1977 to 1983. His remarkable legal career includes his election as delegate to the 1971 Constitutional Convention, and more recently, appointment as a member of the Consultative Committee to review the 1987 Philippine Constitution. He is a principal author of the laws creating the Office of the Ombudsman and the Philippines Miranda Doctrine. Our guest is now residing in Ottawa with his wife, who was appointed Philippine Ambassador to Canada in early 2020. He presented his credentials to the Governor General of Canada on November 20th, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to present to you our distinguished guest, Ambassador Rodolfo D. Robles. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you very much for a rather long introduction. Thank you, Jeanette. Mr. Alabdon, Chairperson of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal, Councilor Marvin Rotran, Councilor Lionel Perez, MP Anthony Housefather, distinguished officers of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal, honored guests, members of the Filipino communities, mga kababayan. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. This evening formally marks the official start of Filipino Heritage Month throughout Canada. As we gather virtually, we join other Filipino organizations in the different provinces and territories that are also conducting their own activities in celebration of this important occasion. And tonight, we recall the passage of Motion 155, designating June of every year as Filipino Heritage Month throughout the country in honor of almost 1 million strong Filipino diaspora and their contributions to Canada's multicultural milieu. I know that these last 15 months have been very difficult for everyone around the world, including the Filipino community in Canada. As Filipinos, we feel a strong sense of connection and community with the people around us, wherever we may be. And we express this through food, our music, and our families, by gathering and celebrating milestones, no matter how big or small. I am certain many of you miss our Philippine Independence Day picnics in the park, the traditional flag raising ceremonies, and of course, our dinner dance galas. These kinds of gatherings are not yet possible, but we can take comfort in the knowledge that as we stay home and reach out to each other through virtual events such as this, we also protect our health and, equally important, the health of our communities. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize our kababayan in the different essential services who have been tirelessly working since day one to help their communities, often at great risk to their own health. I also commend all of you for your own work in supporting them and heeding the guidance of your local authorities. I know that the Philippine diaspora in Canada will come out of this pandemic stronger and more united than ever before. We Filipinos are not strangers to adversity. These struggles we have seen throughout Philippine history. And over the centuries, our ancestors were faced with many challenges threatening their own existence, and yet they persevered through war, conquest, disease, and natural disasters, overcoming all these challenges with determination and humanity. This year, while we celebrate the Filipino cultural heritage and the 123rd anniversary of the proclamation of Philippine independence, I am pleased to share with you that we are also commemorating the Philippines' role in the first circumnavigation of the world 500 years ago. Dubbed as the Philippine Quincentennial Commemorations, this occasion highlights the 500th anniversary of Lapu-Lapu's victory over Magellan on the island of Mactan in 1521. And simultaneously, we are also commemorating the 500th anniversary of the arrival of Christianity in the Philippines. I hope that these occasions can serve as a reminders for all of us of the achievements of Filipino people in the Philippines and in Canada. I look forward to spending this evening with you, and I thank the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal for organizing this event. Congratulations. And maraming salamat po. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Good evening. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, Ambassador Robles, for your presence tonight. Before he attends an important meeting at the Parliament this evening, Mr. Samir Subiri, Member of Parliament, Kirfondalar de Sormo, we welcome your presence, Mr. Samir. Mr. Subiri, welcome.
Thank you for organizing this very important event and for collecting us together to celebrate Filipino heritage and the contribution of people of Filipino descent to Canada. This is so important, us gathering together. I want to also thank the ambassador for being here with us, Marvin Rotran for introducing the motion in Montreal, the Ville de Montréal, and in Côte-des-Neiges, for Anthony Helsfather, my colleague, along with Salma Zahid together, who put forth the motion so that all of Canada would recognize Filipino heritage. And to my other colleagues, we have representation from my colleagues Anthony's office through Sunny. We have with us representatives from the administration of the City of Montreal, Magda, Pomelo, and Lionel Perez from the opposition, and Christian Arsenault. Thanks everybody for being here. This is a very important gathering where we are coming together to recognize the contribution of Filipino Canadians to Canada. And you know, myself as somebody who is different, looks different, I appreciate how important it is to recognize the contribution of diverse communities to our city, to our country. You know, this moment provides an opportunity to give a platform so that Filipino Canadians and Montrealers can share their traditions, their culture, and their contributions to our country. This is so important, and it's something that we must promote. I want to say that you know, you make Canada strong, you make our city strong. I have deep friendships with I've served in the military with friends who are a Filipino background. I know that your community works very hard, struggles very hard, and has made spending time with you. And I look forward to us remaining in contact. If there's ever anything, feel free to reach out and we can have a personal conversation. You guys, a great evening. Thank you.
Edida will bridge the message from Zamir Zuberi to Pandanguan.
We will now have a musical number. It's the Pandanguhan by the Panday Tinig Choral Ensemble. It's a song that explains the tempo of excitement, romanticism, while the people celebrating the fiesta goes into the exciting dance of Pandango. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, singing Pandanguhan during a fiesta, the Panday Tinig. Director of Membership will now introduce our next speakers. Amy Manunog.
Good evening. I would like to introduce to you our elected officials for tonight. We start off with Honorable Mark Garneau, Member of Parliament, Notre Dame de Grace, Westmount.
Hello. Today I join the Filipino community in Montreal and in Canada to mark Filipino Heritage Month. La communauté philippine est devenue l'une des populations connaissant la plus grande croissance au Canada. En effet, on compte maintenant près d'1 million de Canadiens d'origine philippine. This month of June, Canadians celebrate the exceptional contributions people of Filipino origin have made to our communities in the country. The Filipino community is a beautiful example of how diversity makes Canada stronger and more vibrant. As we continue the fight against COVID, I would like to highlight all of the work accomplished by the Filipino community on the front lines of Canada's healthcare system. Thank you to the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal for this opportunity to convey my best wishes for a happy, exciting, and educational Filipino Heritage Month this year.
We have Anthony Housefather, Member of Parliament, Mount Royal.
Hi, this is Anthony Housefather, Member of Parliament for Mount Royal, and I want to thank the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal, led by Al Abdon, and surrounded by many, many talented dear friends who are working so hard to make Filipino Heritage Month special, even in these challenging pandemic times, even as we're virtual instead of together. I look forward to next year when we will all be together to celebrate. A couple of years ago in the House of Commons, one of my proudest moments in Parliament was seconding my colleague Salma Zahid's bill, which created Filipino Heritage Month, where we can all, as Canadians, rejoice in Filipino culture and celebrate the incredibly dynamic, bicultural, bilingual, in Quebec, trilingual Filipino community. This is one of the most special moments for me because, as I think all of you know, I feel very close to the Filipino community and I have such a deep affection for Filipino heritage and culture. I feel myself like an honorary member of the community because I have so many friends who are part of the community, and everything that you do is just so important to Montreal, to Quebec, and to Canada. So I look forward to being together with you in person next year, but for now, happy Filipino Heritage Month.
For the next speaker, we welcome Mr. Francis Scarpalagia, Member of Parliament, Lac St. Louis.
I would like to wish everyone a very happy Filipino Heritage Month. The Filipino community has long been a pillar of Montreal. It has contributed enormously to its economy and its social and cultural life. The Filipino community is a vibrant and growing community that is contributing to the strength of our city, province, and country. I would like to thank all those who have chosen to make Montreal their home. We are better for it. The community deserves to be celebrated, and this is the perfect way at the perfect time to do so. Happy Filipino Heritage Month.
Here we have Madame Rachel Bindayan, Member of Parliament, Outremont. Mrs. Bindayan.
Hi everybody, bonjour tout le monde. Ça me fait plaisir de pouvoir me rejoindre à votre événement ce soir. I want to thank Al Abdon and of course all of the members of the community, of the Filipino community that are gathered here today virtually. J'aimerais également évidemment saluer tous les élus au niveau fédéral, municipal et provincial de se réunir ensemble virtuellement pour célébrer le mois de la communauté philippine. Et bien entendu, j'aimerais aussi saluer et remercier la Société du patrimoine philippin de Montréal. I just feel so strongly about the culture and the art and the the real vitality of the Filipino community in Montreal. In my riding in Côte-des-Neiges, Outremont, and the Mile End, I know that there's a vibrant Filipino community that has been working very hard over the course of this pandemic, virtually in order to stay connected, and also in person in order to help our community, whether it's at the various hospitals, old age homes, or elsewhere on the front lines. I know that the Filipino community has been there for us, and it's a pleasure on this 1st of June to salute the Filipino community and of course to celebrate its heritage and its contributions to Montreal and to the entire country for the rest of the month. So happy Filipino Heritage Month, and thank you for everything that you do to make Canada a wonderful place.
We have Mr. David Birnbaum, member of the National Assembly of Quebec, Darcy McGee.
I'm so pleased to offer my warmest wishes upon this third Filipino Heritage Month, the month of June. Your community is an integral part of the riding I have the privilege of representing in the National Assembly, Darcy McGee. And your community is also such a model for the wonderful mosaic that is Quebec and Canada. And a model in that through the generations you maintain your vital and deeply felt links to your homeland and to your home here in Montreal, in Quebec, and in Canada. And that's, to me, the legacy of the Filipino heritage. It's to meld those realities that are different in your lives. And I understand that heritage to also be one of community solidarity, of caring and compassion and faith. And those values of your wonderful community have been in such clear presence through this very difficult time we're all living. I know how many in the community have been on the front lines during the pandemic and how hard you have all worked to keep your families together, to keep everyone safe, and to build towards a better time. Let's hope that better time is just around the corner, and let's hope that always you continue to work for the welfare of your homeland and for your home right here with all of us. My very best wishes to all of you. Merci et bonne journée. Merci.
Hello, I'm Carmina Franco. I recently graduated from McGill University's undergraduate vocal performance program. My father is from Italy and my mother is from Pangasinan in the Philippines. So it's with great joy that I bring a small performance in the spirit of the Filipino Heritage Month. Ano Kayang Kapalaran is a kundiman by Francisco Santiago. And kundiman is an emblematic song style of Filipino music. So much so that it was a vehicle that enabled the expression of patriotic sentiment during times of colonial oppression. So what appeared in the surface as a love song was also subtextually a song of love for the Filipino nation. I hope you enjoy.
Dito sa mundo ay walang kasing tamis, gaya ng umawit ng sariling himig. Bawat taginting ay wika'y pag-ibig, siyang humahari ng pusong nagiling. Mahirap nga palang umirog, sinta'y dalhin-dalhin may lulos. Araw-gabi ang puso, ang tibagay sipayo, ano kayang kapalaran na nabatimbing lagay, asahan mo't di palad, kaganda'n mo'y saklap.
Ricardo Rebaya, our Assistant Treasurer, to introduce the next set of speakers.
Good evening, everyone. I'm pleased to introduce to you Alex Butowski, Mayor of Dollar de Sormo.
Hello, bonjour à tous, mabuhay. On this long month celebration of the Filipino Heritage Month, I offer you my best wishes to the Filipino community of Montreal, of the West Island, and especially of Dollar des Ormeaux. You are a true model of integration in Dollar des Ormeaux and Montreal, and we thank you for this. We also thank you for all that you do in our community. I'm proud to stand with you in celebrating Filipino Heritage Month. Merci, thank you, salamat po.
Our next guest speaker, Lionel Perez, Councilor, Borough of Darlington.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I'd like to obviously take this opportunity to congratulate Al and the entire society for the incredible work that they put in putting together Filipino Heritage Month here in Côte-de-Neiges and for Montreal. As we know, as was mentioned earlier, Marvin tabled and I seconded the motion that recognized the month of June as Filipino Heritage Month here in our borough. And it was truly a very proud moment for myself, as we know that in Darlington, in the district that I represent, there's the greatest concentration of members coming from the Filipino community. So it's a particular special Filipino Heritage Month because of the trying times that we are living through together. It is a greater challenge to be able to put this together virtually. There's no doubt that a lot of time goes in. We should not think that it's an easier way of doing it, because there's a lot of preparation and coordination and work that's done. And I'd like to congratulate everybody who's involved, all the volunteers, the entire board of the society. And we also know that this Heritage Month is a testament to the Filipino community and their ability to be proud of their heritage, of their culture, of their language, and especially of their cuisine, and being able to bring it here to Montreal to demonstrate that they've been able to find the balance of remembering where they come from and what they stand for, but also integrating into society here, being productive members of society. And what better place to be able to showcase that than in our borough, a multi-ethnic, multicultural, multilinguistic borough, rich in diversity. It skews in its inclusiveness, and how the members of the Filipino have demonstrated their ability to really enshrine the values that are dear to them, of working hard, of hard work, of determination, of success, of civic mindedness, being able to think of the society as a whole. And we see it even during this pandemic, the food drives that were done, the incredible number of essential workers and nurses that come from the Filipino community here at the different hospitals, whether it be the Jewish, the Montreal General, or others. It's truly a demonstration and how a witness of how incredibly worthwhile, dedicated, devoted they are. And what's more incredible is how this Heritage Society, or in the last 3 years, has really brought different groups together within the community to be able to share, to collaborate and work together. And that's truly a wonderful thing. And for myself, as I mentioned, I've been blessed to have been welcomed with open arms by the community since I've become a city councilor almost 12 years ago. Being able to become even more familiar with all members of the community, being made an honorary Knight of Rizal by the Brotherhood of the Knights of Rizal, And it's something that I cherish very dearly. No other place than in our borough would there be a better place to have a monument to commemorate and recognize the incredible contribution of Dr. Jose Rizal. And it's become a point, an anchor in our community as to how we, in fact, have such a presence that is there. We also know to what extent that in Mackenzie King Park every year, obviously last year being the exception, it's full of different activities, whether it's Independence Day, Filipino Heritage Month, Pista Sinayon. It's truly an incredible thing. And we hope to further continue that relationship. My colleague Marvin Rochon mentioned we're going to have a motion to reinvigorate the relationship between Montreal and Manila. So I look forward, if next November I am elected, to be able to have a trip organized, to be able to visit Manila. I've never had a chance to go to visit the Philippines. Marvin has gone a few times. So I look forward to being able to have that opportunity to further develop and better the relationship. So you can count on my continued support. I thank you for your support over the years, and I look forward to continuing in the future. Thank you very much. Mabuhay. I encourage everybody to take advantage as many activities throughout the month. It's truly an enriching opportunity for people from different walks of life, and it truly is a testament to what one community can do to enrich our collectivity. Thank you so much. Mabuhay.
We also have with us Magda Popiano, Councilor, Borough of Codnez.
Thank you very much, Excellence Ambassador Philippine, Mr. Robles, Honorable Samir Zubir, distinguished elected officials, my colleagues, they already was named, dear friends of the Filipino community of Montreal, Mabuhay. En tant que conseillère de ville de l'arrondissement de Côte-des-Neiges-Notre-Dame-de-Grâce et responsable de la culture au comité exécutif de la ville de Montréal, je suis très fière d'être avec vous ce soir pour lancer les festivités du mois du patrimoine philippin. As City Council for the Borough of Côte-des-Neiges-Notre-Dame-de-Grâce and in charge, responsible for culture on the executive committee of the City of Montreal, I'm very proud to be with you today to launch the festivities of the Filipino Heritage Month. I also bring warm greetings from the Mayor of Montreal, Valérie Plante, on the occasion of this new tradition, now in its third edition. Le thème que vous avez choisi cette année, Buyu ni Juan, réaffirme l'importance de la coopération, de la solidarité et de l'entraide. Ce thème est plus pertinent que jamais dans le contexte actuel de la pandémie. The theme you have chosen this year reminds us of the importance of cooperation, solidarity, and mutual support. This theme is more than relevant this year in the current context of pandemic. The past year has been a difficult one for the Montreal community in many ways. It is in these troubled times that solidarity takes on its full meaning, like the solidarity shown by Filipino community in Montreal. You have shown courage and resilience. Près de la moitié de 35 000 Philippins résidant au Québec sont établis dans l'arrondissement de Côte-des-Neiges-Notre-Dame-de-Grâce. Je remercie de tout cœur la communauté philippine de participer si activement au développement et au dynamisme de l'arrondissement à tous les niveaux. À tous les niveaux. Nearly half of the 35,000 Filipinos residing in Quebec live in the borough of Côte-des-Neiges-Notre-Dame-de-Grâce. I thank the Filipino community for participating so actively in the development and in vitality of our borough at many levels. Thank you very much for everything you are doing. The borough and the City of Montreal are very proud to once again be at the side of Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal to launch this Filipino Heritage Month. I want to thank you also my colleague Murphy Rothan. I know he fight a lot. He was very close from your community, and I want to thank you personally. Congratulations to the team for organizing the festivities. The celebration begins as hope is reborn and as our metropolis begins its gradual deconfinement. We are all looking forward to getting together again and celebrating. So I encourage everyone to be careful and continue to follow the public health guidelines. Thanks to Mr. Al Abdon for the organization. Thank you for the invitation and enjoy this wonderful Filipino month. Thank you very much.
We welcome Christian Arsenault, Councilor, Borough of Loyola.
Thank you. Bonsoir. Good evening, everyone. Mabuhay. And it's such a pleasure to be back with you again. First things first, I feel it's important to state that my adobo chicken recipe has not improved since my first attempt. And so I'm still waiting on those suggestions. That being said, now that that's out of the way, Mr. Ambassador, Al Abdon, members and friends of the society, my council colleagues, it's great to see fully 2/3 of our local council here, and friends from other levels of government. C'est vraiment un plaisir de vous voir ici ce soir, comme toujours. What to say that hasn't already been said by one or more of our esteemed speakers tonight? It's a pleasure to be here with you at the beginning of Filipino Heritage Month. And as so many others have said, I just can't wait for us to be able to do it in person again. One of the things that I have to say I miss the most about walking down the streets of my district is just seeing so many people out and about when the weather is beautiful, and different faces from different places, different sounds, different languages, all of the culture that we have in our borough and in our neighborhood that makes us so proud to be a multicultural part of this beautiful city of ours. We really set the example for the rest of Montreal, and you are such a big part of that. Whether it's with the Filipino Heritage Month celebrations, and of course, I thank councilors Rotron and Perez for their initiative in 2018, because it's led to yet another wonderful annual event, or any of the other activities that you put on throughout the year that we're happy to support as a council. Once again, I just have to say congratulations. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for setting such an example for so many other communities and associations that make up our civil society. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. Cannot wait to see you once again in person and to celebrate properly once we've all been vaccinated and it's safe to gather. So thank you once again. Merci beaucoup. And looking forward to seeing you in person. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Our next speaker, Frank Baylis, former member of the Parliament for Pierrefonds, Dollard des Ormeaux.
Well, thank you, Ricardo. It's good to see you, my friend. I just say hello to Al, Jeanette. I think I saw Ador from West Island somewhere on there. I recognize the Ambassador Robles and the great many members of Parliament that spoke, the members of the National Assembly and the city councilors. I see Lionel Perez, obviously Marvin Rotran, the wonderful Marvin Rotran. I saw Samir. I saw Christian just spoke. I saw Sunny Morose and that. What I would tell you is this, as a community in the Filipino community, that when you see that many politicians from all three levels coming out and happy to be here, and that it's a statement, not just that the Filipino community is respected and important, but there's a little piece of the heart that's involved with that too. It's a question of a certain kind of love for the community that goes both ways. And it's a part of the Filipino culture to be welcoming and kind and open and offering food and song and dance. And you see that reflected back. I can tell you that because I've been to many different events as a politician in the past. And when I see that many people, you should take it as a very positive sign of that there's not just respect, but love towards the community. And with that, I wish everybody the very best for the Filipino Heritage Month this coming June. Thank you.
We warmly welcome Sunny Moroz, the outreach coordinator for MP Anthony Housefather. Well, Sunny is also one of the advisors of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal.
Thank you so much, Dick. And thanks everyone for attending. Thanks everyone for being here. Thank you, Al, and for everyone on the executive who have contributed to make sure that there's events happening for Filipino Heritage Month this year. To be honest, I've checked in across different parts of the country, and there's not many other cities that are putting together something for Filipino Heritage Month this year. And it's a testament to the fact that we were one of the first cities, if not the first city, to do it. So Marvin and Lionel, I commend you both for having the forethought to put something like this together. And for everyone else who's attending, the other purpose of Filipino Heritage Month is to do it annually, to make sure that every year we progress people's understanding of what the Filipino community means to Canadian society in different ways. This year we're doing it virtually, but in the year before, the idea was to create a large template of all the events, put them on one board, and make other people from other communities attend these events to witness and partake, share the food, dance, see the smiles. And I'm really looking forward to something like this happening in the future. And I really appreciate the leadership of Al Abdon and the rest of the team to do this year. It's not easy. You know, we're a couple dozen people on this call, and maybe a few more people will see it on Facebook, and we'll share it, and we'll get to 1,000 people, and that's not enough. So I just want to appreciate also people like Salam and Dr. Duong and Tim Chan who attend these meetings regularly whenever asked, to make sure that the network and message is spread wider, and because that's the real idea. And to end on a really positive note, Filipino Heritage Month is also an opportunity to get federal funding, provincial funding, municipal funding, and private sector funding towards the organizations in a new way. We're kind of stuck in some of the old models of how to get funding into community organizations, and the pandemic really brought that to the forefront. So I'm really looking forward to discussions after the pandemic has subsided, and we can learn from the mistakes and learn from the things that we did well during the pandemic, so we can build a better society for everybody off the backs of the volunteers who do us best. So thank you to all the volunteers, the essential workers, frontline workers. You guys know what it's about. Thank you so much.
Donc, Sayos Tabanco est une danse festive dont les danseurs testent leur équilibre, leurs compétences et leur travail d'équipe tout en dansant sur des bancs étroits. Amana Nanglis Menda presents Sayos Tabanco. This is a festive dance in which the dancers must test their balance, skills, and teamwork while dancing on top of narrow benches.
hardworking and efficient treasurer, Luz Viminda Mazzoni, is going to introduce our next set of speakers. Minda?
Good evening, everyone. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce the next speaker, Chairman of Filipino Heritage Council of Canada from Toronto, Tony San Juan.
Mabuhay! Greetings. On behalf of the officers and members of the Filipino Heritage Council of Canada, I would like to convey our big congratulations and warm wishes to the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal on the occasion of their launching of Filipino Heritage Month on June 1st, 2021. It is with great pride and pleasure, as well as honor, that our Filipinos in Canada jointly celebrate with you the many contributions and achievements of our kababayans here in our adopted country, particularly in Montreal, Quebec, as well as of promoting, preserving, and propagating the rich and vibrant heritage of our history, culture, and history, as well as the language, arts of the Philippines. I salute the wonderful initiatives, services, and programs of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal for reaching and enhancing all things Filipino, and of course, of serving your constituencies and clients within the Canadian community in Montreal and its adjoining cities and cities or barrios. Once again, maraming salamat, merci beaucoup, at mabuhay tayong lahat, mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Thank you and enjoy your celebrations.
Our next speaker is Ryan Abenir, coordinator for the United Peace Federation coming from Toronto. Mr. Abenir?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm representing Universal Peace Federation here in Toronto. So on behalf of our office, we are part of the United Nations Heritage Status, and we're supporting UN for solving the basic problem in the world. But for us, we want to promote Filipino culture this day. We believe that a Filipino family is the foundation for promoting peace, especially in this heritage of Filipino, the value of Filipino culture. So with that, we'd like to congratulate Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal for this successful event. And also would like to thank you for the coming of Ambassador Robles, the Ambassador for Philippines. And with that, we'd like to invite you to come with us to promote Filipino culture in our event on June 5th, showcasing Filipino in supporting with the You Start With Me project. So congratulations again. Please come with us for the June 5th rally, promoting family and peace. And we're coming with us for the Filipino. Filipino is one of the happiest people in the world. And that culture can bring peace to the world. I believe that. I'm happy to represent Philippines. I'm happy to represent Filipino. Thank you and congratulations.
Our next speaker is the Montreal Chapter Commander of the Knights of Rizal, Sir Jerry Danzil.
I guess you can move on to the next speaker, Minda.
Our next speaker, unfortunately, we did not have Sir Jerry Danzil, is Dario Bocco, the President of the Council of Canadian Filipino Associations of Quebec, and also the ex-commander of Knights of Rizal. Mr. Boko?
Hello, you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the officers and members of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal, headed by Sir Al Abdon, and also to Jeanette Prignon, who invited me as one of the guests in this virtual celebration. As I can see, His Excellency Ambassador Robles is with us also in celebrating this Philippine Heritage Month. Good evening po, Ambassador. Hope to see you in person in the near future. As we all know, that June is a Heritage Month. It was declared by the Senate of Canada. And for me, June 12 is the Heritage Day, because this is the day where we celebrate Independence Day. Many of Filipino Canadian celebrate these occasions, the Philippine Independence Day. We celebrate our proud heritage that marks the highest value of patriotism, sacrifice for our country, our people, and our freedom. Once again, thank you very much for inviting me. And may God bless us all. Marami pong salamat at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
It's a pleasure to introduce as a singer, performer of the community. She's not only well-known in Montreal, but internationally. She capped 6 out of 7 gold medal at the Performing Arts in California. Please help me welcome Thea Cruz.
Hi, everybody. My name is Thea Cruz from Montreal, Quebec, and I just want to say Happy Filipino Heritage Month to you all. Mabuhay. This is Isang Lahi.
Isa lang ang ating lahi, isa lang ang ating libing. Kung ang tinig mo'y di naririnig, ano nga bang halaga ng buhay sa daigdig? Darating ba ang isa ngayon at magbabago ang panahon? Kung bawat pagdaing ay laging pabulong, aanhin ko pa dito sa mundo ang mga matang nakikita'y di totoo. May ngiting luhuran at paglayang tanong ay kailan? Bakit di natin isabog ang pagmamahal? Sundan mo ang tanaw, ang buhay. Mundo ay punan mo ng saya't gawin makulay. Isa lang ang ating lagi, isa lang ang ating lipi. Bakit di pagmamahal ang ialay mo? Pangunawang gabi ay mayroong wagas. Pagkatapos ng dilim ay may liwanag. Araw ay agad nasisikat, iilawan ng ating landas ng magkaisa. Bawat nating pangarap, sundan mo ng tanaw ang buhay. Mundo ay punan mo ng saya, gawin magkulay. Isa lang ang ating lahi, isa lang ang ating lipi. Bakit di pagmamahal ang ialay mo? Pangunawang tunay ang siyang nais mo. Ang pagdamay sa kapwa nandiyan sa palad mo. Sundan mo ng ganap ang buhay. Mundo ay punan mo ng saya, gawin magkulay. Isa lang ang ating lahi, isa lang ang ating libing. Bakit di pagmamahal ang ialay mo? Pangunawang tunay ang siyang nais mo. Ang pagdamay sa kapwa nandiyan sa palad mo.
Dali Vilandres, our educational coordinator, will now introduce the next set of speakers.
Good evening. Our next speaker is Lolita Odolio. She's the Vice Chairperson of the Seniors of West Island and Suburbs called Swiss.
Greetings, my fellow kababayan. On behalf of the seniors of the West Island and suburbs of Montreal, better known as Swiss, I congratulate the Filipino Heritage Society for the great task of keeping alive our cultural tradition, a tradition that we, so many Filipinos here, living in Montreal, have so much to cherish and to long for. Being uprooted from our native Philippines in quest for better opportunity and a new horizon, we were faced with the challenge of getting assimilated in a brand new culture that is so much different from our own. While Canada has given us so much to enrich our life and our family, the diversity of the different cultures that help us grow and better our ways in more than one. We are still Filipinos. We are still Filipinos by heart, by soul, and by mind. We might have changed the way we dress, the way we live, and what we eat, but the longing is still there. Memories of our childhood and our growing years in our native Philippines is still alive and well. And those memories brought back to life with the reincarnations of our native songs, our dances, our festivities, and the likes. Thanks to those who strive to keep them alive. In gratitude to the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal, my children will be able to feel and remember the richness of our culture. And they will say, this is where we came from, this is where my mom and dad came from, and this is what we're going to cherish and look back to. Maraming salamat po.
The next speaker is Ador Bolosan. He's the ex-officio of FCAWI.
On behalf of the Filipino-Canadian Association of West Island, I would like to extend my warmest greetings to my fellow Filipinos and to the entire Filipino community of Montreal and suburbs on the celebration of Filipino Heritage Month. Congratulations to the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal for their proactive, collaborative work and dedication for this month-long event. As we celebrate this year's Filipino Heritage Month, We should all be reminded of our shared responsibility towards promoting and conserving our Philippine cultural heritage and Filipino identity. Remembering and honoring the struggles and sacrifices of our heroes and martyrs who laid their lives for our cherished freedom. We should take a great initiative in ensuring that our history and identity are kept and all times remembered. Together, let us demonstrate solidarity as we strengthen our Bayanihan spirit and forge a better future for every Filipino. Have a wonderful celebration. Mabuhay!
Next speaker is Elvira Estopa. She's the president of the Canadian Filipino Teachers Association of Quebec.
I'm Bincayesal Estopa from the province of Sorsogon in Bicol Region 5 and the current president of Quebec Association of Canadian Filipino Teachers. The Quebec Association of Canadian Filipino Teachers was founded in the year 1996 and Miss Philly Rosales Carino was the founder president. The QECFT is willing and happy to support the Filipino Heritage Month here in Montreal. Congratulations to the organizing committee of this event. I would like to announce the coming event of Quebec Association of Canadian Filipino Teachers. The QECFT Filipino Language and Culture Program will open soon at St. Malaki Parish Hall. For more information, please call Larina Flores 514-561-4372, Joseph Gonzalez 514-344-9247, Bincayesal Estopa 514-621-7260. Happy, healthy, and safe celebration of Heritage Month here in Montreal. Thank you and good evening.
Next is Alan Cunanan. He is the chairman of the Filipino community of South Shore.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am sorry I cannot be with you tonight. My name is Alan Cunanan, and I am proud Filipino Canadian from the province of Pampanga in the Philippines. I am currently residing here in Brossard, South Shore, and the chairperson of the Filipino Canadian community of the South Shore since 2018, or what we call it FCCSS. I am delighted to be with you and express sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan, mabuhay tayong mga Pilipino, and also all the politicians who are actively supporting the Filipino community here in Canada and around the world. As we all know, the Filipino Heritage has a rich history in supporting not only their community, but also the countries where they have called their second home. I salute all my kababayans who, in spite of this terrible time, they are considered one of the heroes of this modern time. Special mention goes to the Filipino nurses, caregivers, nursing assistants, truck drivers, and all essential Filipino workers. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat po sa inyong walang kapagurang pagtatrabaho. I wish and hope that through this Filipino Heritage Month, we can extend and promote equality and get rid of Asian hate or any prejudice in our country or anywhere in the world. As we celebrate Philippine Independence Day this June, I also salute those heroes back home who fought for our freedom. To all our kababayans, let us continue what our forefathers taught us to respect, understand, be kind, and help and love one another, especially our families, relatives, and friends, and of course, our native country, the Republic of the Philippines. Again, mabuhay po tayong lahat at mabuhay ang manggagawang Pilipino. Maraming salamat po.
What you are about to see is the Carinyosa dance, a popular folk dance performed throughout the Philippines. It belongs to the Maria Clara Philippine Dances, It originated in Panay Island in the Visayas and was introduced by the Spaniards during their colonization of the Philippines. It is related to a Spanish dance bolero. During the Marcos regime, the Cariñosa was named the national dance of the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal Dance Group dancing the Cariñosa. Kimberly Yang Gulcia, our outreach director, will now introduce the next set of speakers.
Please help me welcome Dr. Kimberly Manning, Principal of the Simone de Beauvoir Institute and Associate Professor of Political Science at Concordia University.
Good evening, everybody. It's fantastic to see so many people gathering, especially under current conditions. I want to give a shout out, especially to Al Abdon and Jeanette, who took extraordinary lengths to reach out to me. I really appreciate it. And I also want to say thank you to the rest of the Filipino Heritage Society and all of the representatives that are here tonight. It is extraordinary to see so many people coming out. I do want to say, though, that I don't just celebrate Filipino Heritage Month in June. For the last 3 years, I have to say, I celebrate Filipino Heritage Month all the time. And that includes when the sun starts to shine and it's time to gather in the park with family and friends. Where do I go for food? I go to Côte des Neiges and I pick up some pancit. When the weather is brightening up again, the first thing I want to do is get into the park and start to dance Zamba again. It's been really actually remarkable for me since I first ran for office 3 years ago, how much my life changed as a consequence of the folks that I met in the Filipino community. It actually was a moment that for me changed my own relationship to Montreal. Was the first time that I actually felt like I belonged here. And that's because so many people in the community not only supported me, but welcomed me into their homes and with whom I've developed now life-changing friendships. So again, I mean, I just have to say that for me, this month is not a Filipino Heritage Month is not a month for me. It's now an all year round celebration. And I only feel gratitude for the friendships, but also for the extraordinary work that I've seen in the context of the pandemic. And I just, you know, I have to say this has been such a rough year. And it's been rough for many people in the Filipino community. As you know, Filipino Canadians have been among the hardest hit by the COVID virus, serving on the front lines in the hospitals and in long-term care homes. And I know that this is a challenge that won't be easily forgotten. And when we think about heritage, this is now part of the heritage, right? The work that's been done in the community over the last 15 months is now part of the heritage. And my hope moving forward is that in Canada, we can do a better job now at recognizing the incredible contributions of nurses, of long-term caregivers, of long-haul truckers, of the essential workers who've actually made the difference between life and death in this country. And I know I'm grateful, but we need more than gratitude. We need to ensure for our children and for our children's children that conditions will continue to change, will continue to improve, and that the contributions will be fully recognized. And I hope moving forward too, I'll just say on a final note, it's been my great pleasure to be working with members of the community at Concordia University on various projects. I'm so excited that my colleague Cynthia Hammond is here. Dr. Hammond's been working closely with the Filipino Heritage Society. And I just think that there's so much promise and opportunity so that we can continue to find ways to amplify the voices of young Filipinos in Quebec and Canada to begin to build the new histories, the promise of Filipino Canadians in Canada. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful for the invitation to be here tonight. Mabuhay.
Our next speaker is Dr. Cynthia Hammond, Professor of Art History at Concordia University.
Thanks, Kim. Hi, everyone. It is my great pleasure to be here with you all tonight to celebrate the start of Filipino Heritage Month in Canada. And Dr. Manning introduced me to Filipino Heritage Montreal, now the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal, 3 years ago. And I thank her very much for that, because that was really the start of a beautiful relationship. Through several collaborations, I've come to know how warm, kind, effective, spirited, and generous this community is. I've also learned how much you love young people. I've learned how much you love dancing and music, flowers, and food. And I'm honored to be with you tonight, sharing in your joy that this month, Filipino Canadians are being recognized for all your contributions to Canadian society. I was very moved by many of the speeches tonight, but I particularly noted Sonny Maraz's speech about how important it is to grow the audience of appreciation for the Filipino community, and very much echoed in what Dr. Manning was just saying. And it's exactly this, your contributions, that I would like to share with the broader public of Montreal. So since last September, I've been working with a team of graduate students, including Kim Gultia, who just introduced me, and I know many of you know, and we've been gathering the memories and stories of Filipino Montrealers over the age of 50. So why are we doing this? Well, the narrative of our city is often told as a narrative of conflict between French and English, but we know this leaves so much out. And what we want to do is show how your community has been a productive part of Montreal society, and even more, how you have helped shape this city into what it is today through your culture, organizing, events, language, and so on. It would help us very much if you could imagine yourself being interviewed for the project, which is called La Ville Extraordinaire, or the Extraordinary City. And I really see Filipino Montrealers as being part of what makes Montreal extraordinary. So I warmly invite you to reach out to myself Also to our project manager, Leah Cabello, who is joining us tonight. Also Kim, and I'm putting Leah's and my email addresses in the chat. Feel free to reach out to us directly. You can also get in touch with us through Kim or through Al. And we would really love to hear from you, to hear your story about adopting Canada as your new home, how you've succeeded in this city, and the legacy that you're building for your children and your grandchildren. Tonight, however, I raise my glass of water to you all, and once again, congratulate you on the start to Filipino Heritage Month. Mabuhay. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Cristina Altares, President of the Filipino Canadian Association of Vaudreuil Solange.
Hi, good evening. Sorry about that. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Bonsoir tout le monde. I'm really delighted to be here, and I thank you, Al Abdon, and the members of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal for your kind invitation in this amazing and beautiful virtual event that you have. And by watching all the different presentations, hearing everybody's speeches from the dignitaries and all these important people that you have in this event, I'm actually speechless, and I forgot what I'm supposed to say. But as a leader of the Association of Filipino Canadian in Vaudreuil Solange in the Montérégie region, I got involved into this organization 6 years ago because of heritage. I came in Canada when I was 18 years old. And at that time, for me, it's a new beginning. And I just like to quickly share it with you because I find coming to a new country is a new beginning, a new acquaintance with the culture, with the traditions. And for me, seeing where I came from, knowing how my family showed me the traditions and what made me became so important, seeing the two different cultures. But at the same time, it gave me a lesson to remember where you come from, where your roots are, and what I've learned in the integration of both culture. So for me, if we talk about heritage, it is about family, a community values, tradition, culture, the inheritance from our past generations that we like to integrate in our daily lives and pass on to our generations. And this is the reason why I continuously getting involved with the Filipino community, because they have rich values, traditions. And just to give you an example, when you have a visitor in Canada, you always say, how are you? How was your trip? Is everything okay with the traffic? When you go into a Filipino home, that's not the question that they will ask you. They will ask you if you have eaten, are you hungry? And they'll lead you to the kitchen. So these little things are the most important to me as a Filipino, and integrated with the Canadian culture. I find it's a very rich culture that we practice every day, being a Filipino Canadian citizen. So my message to all our Filipino fellow Filipino Canadians: continue to be proud from where you come from and continue to pass on the traditions, culture to the next generation and our succeeding generation. So be proud, mabuhay, and happy Heritage Month to all. Thank you.
We will now have a Harana song number, and the title is Dungawin Mohirang.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to hear a few words from some of our ethnic community leaders. Our first speaker is a cardiologist at Charlemagne Hospital in South Shore. He is representing the Vietnamese community, Association Viet Heritage Renaissance. I'm happy to introduce to you Dr. Din Huy Duong.
Bonjour, chers membres de la communauté philippine et chers dignitaires. Je suis très honoré d'être encore une autre fois invité à vos célébrations du Filipino Heritage Month en tant que représentant de la communauté vietnamienne. J'aimerais exprimer mon admiration devant la force de votre communauté, devant sa cohésion, sa solidarité et devant les contributions extraordinaires que votre communauté a fournies à la société québécoise et canadienne. J'apprécie aussi beaucoup les contacts avec les Philippins parce que vous êtes réellement un peuple très chaleureux, amical et accueillant. Vous êtes réellement des modèles pour nous. Like the Filipino community, the Vietnamese community also would like to celebrate our heritage, heritage of refugees coming to Canada over 40 years ago, fleeing communism. So I would like to make an announcement for you. On the 28th of August, the Vietnamese community will celebrate the inauguration of a commemorative monument built in the town of Mont-Royal at the corner of Côte des Neiges and Jean Talon. This monument is to commemorate the boat people who perished at sea over 40 years ago, over 500,000 of them, in quest of liberty, and also to thank the society, the Canadian society and the Quebec society for accepting us as refugees. I would like to invite you to this very important event for us and to celebrate with us. Encore une fois, merci beaucoup de m'avoir invité et je suis vraiment très honoré de faire partie de vos festivités. Merci.
Our next speaker is a leader, founder, and president of the Montreal Chinatown United Care Committee and director of Montreal Chinese Hospital. Let us welcome Mr. Jimmy Chan.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Chinese community, we congratulate your Filipino Heritage Month. And it's my honor today to celebrate the Filipino Heritage Month along with everyone and all communities together. And this is my proud moment. And this is important milestone that will build our friendship. That it is the beginning of all community comes together, especially we all came far away from our home and make this land, Canada, this beautiful country became our home. And for make next generation and generation to come. Today is the beginning of our friendship. We celebrate our diversity. We celebrate our heritage, our Asian heritage all together. And I want to say thank you for all the frontline workers and also all the people that have been stepping up in our Asian community to fight for hateism. It is something so important for all of us to stand on guards to protect our identity, our community. So I am really thankful, really appreciated for Jeanette inviting me, and thank you, Sony and Martin, and also my longtime good friend, Raymond Vincent. And today it is a special day for me, and I have an opportunity to learn the Filipinos' heritage and the history. That I'm proud to say that your contribution is so great for this country. You know, frontline workers, the healthcare workers, during this difficult time of COVID pandemic have saving so much lives, and you're actually risking your life to doing all that. And we appreciate and we thank you. So happy Filipino Heritage Month. And thank you so much for inviting me, having me being part of these important events. Thank you.
Another Chinese leader, co-chair of the National Congress of the Chinese Canadian and Quebec region, I present to you Mr. Timothy Chan.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
My name is Timothy Chen, and I tell you one story. Filipino in Canada, immigration from 1959 is only one immigration working in the Sheraton Hotel. His name is Mr. Muga. He's specialized to make tropical drinks. He's the one who created the tropical drinks in the city of Montreal. That's a blended drink culture from South Pacific Polynesians to Montreal. That's the Filipino. Number two, right now, do you know how many Filipino population in North and Nunavut, Inuit have a 500 Filipino population right there. Oh, big community in a small town. Okay, that's number two. Number three, my father-in-law was in the Philippines, Basilan City, at the south of the small island. He worked over there. He opened the store as a tailor for 20 years. One time the small town get a fire, so they have nothing to do but help and also to bring it the materials to hide it. Instead, there's no money over there, you know. Everybody was working hard. So this is the how they live in the early years. And also the Chinese and Filipino was hand by hand, shoulder to shoulder, to fight for the right, for survival, for a better life in Philippines. So this is the heritage. Now we live in Canada. Filipino and Chinese have to be together and face into the future. We don't forget how our culture, Asian culture, is different, but how to make the combine with the other any community, then we have to learn. Today, the Filipino Heritage Society to organize this event, which is extremely, it's very good for everyone. We have to learn it from your people. And this is the 4th year on a row. It's not easy. You guys working hard. Thank you very much.
Representing the Bangladesh community, let us hear from Mr. Tufik Eza Akhtar. Mr. Akhtar?
I don't think he's here.
Okay. The next speaker is Mr. Zafar Kamaran, representing the Pakistani community. I guess he's not here.
I think he left as well.
Okay. Last but not the least, let's hear a few words from the president of the Canadian Jewish Association, Gail Adelson Markovitz.
Mabuhay, hello. I am Gail Adelson Markovitz, president of Federation CJA, and it is my honor to deliver greetings to the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal and the rich and vibrant Filipino community of Montreal on the occasion of Filipino Heritage Month. Our role is somewhat similar to yours. Federation CJA has been the driving force in a vibrant Montreal Jewish community for over 100 years. Through our network of agencies and organizations, we work tirelessly in building and sustaining our community, just like you do. We develop leadership and provide services and programs to care for the vulnerable and those in need. We ensure a bright Jewish future, and we seek to positively affect issues in the wider society, just like you do. The Filipino community of Montreal has grown considerably over the last several decades, building a vast tapestry of proud and dedicated members, from nurses, educators, and caregivers to professionals and contributors to Montreal's economic success. And you have blossomed as a community and laid a solid foundation for the next generation of Filipino leaders who will be involved at every level of society. Our communities are intertwined in history as well. During the Holocaust, the Philippines saved 1,200 Jews, and there are many links between Israel and the Philippines, such as education in farming technology. And to emphasize the wonderful connections between our two communities, the month of June is marked not only as Filipino Heritage Month, but as Jewish Heritage Month as well. Here's wishing that both of our communities continue to thrive in peace and harmony, along with all communities and all people. Thank you. Salamat.
Tenahalin sa bayan, bagong uso ay simulan. O dapat lang kabataan, oras mo nang makialam. O kabataan, mga katropa tayo na, wag nang umurong sulong pa. Buong loob sumama na, taratena. Tara, simulan mo na, tena, bagong pag-asa, taratena. O kabataan, ang galing naman, simulan pagbabago sa bayan, taratena. Tara, wag ka kaba-kaba, tena, oo, may laban ka. Galingan, sipagan, pag-usayan, panawagan kabataan, taratena. Maasahan ka dito, mahusay ang ideya mo. Pakita mong marunong ka, bayan sa'yo'y umaasa.
Huwag ka kabataan, magkakatropa tayo na, wag nang murong sulong pa. Buwang loob, sumama na.
Taratena, tara, simulan mo na. Tena, bagong pag-asa, taratena. O kabataan, ang galing naman, simulan pagbabago sa bayan, taratena. Tara, wag ka kaba-kaba, tena, oo, may laban ka. Galingan, sipagan, pag-usayan, panawagan kabataan, taratena.
Tayo na, tara na, kapitin ng kalina mo, sa tunay ng pagbabago.
Tayo na, tara na, tuwag sa Diyos isama ka, makakanta ng lapit na. Tayo na, tara na, tara na, tayo na. O tara ka na, o sumama malapit na, makakanta ng pagbabago sa bayan. Tara, simulan mo na, tena, bagong pag-asa, taratena. O kabataan, ang galing naman, simulan pagbabago sa bayan, taratena. Tara, wag ka kaba-kaba, tena, oo, may laban ka. Galingan, sipagan, pag-usayan, panawagan kabataan, taratena. Tara, simulan mo na, tena, bagong pag-asa, magbabago sa bayan, darating na. Tara, huwag kakaba-kaba. Tena, oo, may laban ka. Galing ang sipag, ang pag-usay, panawagan kabataan, darating na. Tara, simulan mo na. Tena, bagong pag-asa, darating na. Kung kabataan, ang galing naman. Simulan, pagbabago sa bayan, darating na. Tara, huwag kakaba-kaba. Tena, oo, may laban ka. Galing ang sipag, ang pag-usay, panawagan kabataan, darating na. Tara, simulan mo na. Tena, bagong pag-asa, darating na. O kabataan, ang galing naman. Simulan, pagbabago sa bayan, darating na. Tara, huwag kakaba-kaba. Tena, oo, may laban ka. Galing ang sipag, ang pag-usay, panawagan kabataan, darating na. Tara, simulan mo na.
Every language represents an identity. It's a soul to every culture, and tonight we share with you some local languages of the Filipinos in Montreal. From the Western Visayas, we have Hiligaynon and Elsa Montealegre, the Vice President of the Kahirop, give us her message.
Ako, si Ginang Elsa Montealegre, Vice Presidente sang Kahirop, na nagarepresentar sang Kahirop Hiligaynon Association of Quebec. Ini nga katilingban o grupo ang hambalanon ay Hiligaynon. Kag may sakop nga anong kaprobinsya sa Rehiyon 6 o Western Visayas. Ini nga mong Aklan, Antique, Capiz, Islas ng Guimaras, Iloilo, kag Negros Occidental. Sa ngalan sang Kahirop, inapaalinton ko ang amon pagpanghibulahan samtang ginasaulog naton ang Filipino Heritage o panublion sa bulan sang Hunyo. Ang kahiwatan nga ini nagapakita lamang sang kultura sang mga Ilonggo. Nga mo ang paghangpanay, paghiliusa, kag pag-ugyon sa isa kag isa. Ang Ilonggo, bantog, bisan diin nga lugar, nga malulo, kag mga pinalanggaon sa isig niya katawo. Amo ini ang mapabugal naton bilang isa ka Ilonggo. Madamo gid nga salamat. Mabuhay kita tanan.
On March 16, 1521, when Philippines was discovered by Magellan, they were sailing the night across the big ocean until they saw a small Limasawa island. Magellan landed in Limasawa at noon. The people met him very welcome on the shore. They did not understand his speaking they have done, because Kastila gid and waray-waray man. When Magellan landed in Cebu City, Rahah Mabon meet him, they were very happy. All people were baptized and built the Church of Christ, and that's the beginning of our Catholic life. When Magellan visited in Mactan to Christianize them everyone, but Lapu-Lapu meet him on the shore, and Magellan to go back home. Then Magellan got so mad, ordered his men to come out floods. Mactan Island we could not grab, cause Lapu-Lapu is very hard. Then the battle began at dawn, Pornos and spears versus guns and cannons. When Magellan was hit on his neck, he stumbled down and cried and cried. Oh, mother, mother, I am sick. Call the doctor very quick. Oh, doctor, doctor, shall I die? Tell my mama, do not cry. Tell my mama, do not cry. Tell my mama, do not cry. That's the end of Magellan in the island of Mactan, long time ago, ladies and gentlemen.
May, we are just closing the Asian Heritage Month. And June, we welcome the Filipino Heritage Month in Canada. Thank you, Canada, for opening your door to us Filipinos and accept us to be part of your bicultural tapestry. As we keep our distinct culture here in Montreal, we may come together in peace and harmony. Again, thank you all for our guests, all our performers, to all members of the Filipino Heritage Society of Montreal. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Thank you, Helen Keller. Good night to all.
Simply ain't no place like Manila.
Everybody.
Manila.
Good night, everybody. What a wonderful evening.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Happy Heritage Month. There's more. June 20th. There's more show coming.